Hello and welcome everyone. This video is going to be about the materials, the paints that I have enjoyed using in the first half of this year. So that's what I'm going to be sharing with you. I've got 3 different palettes of colours. One is Red Clover Meadow, the other Deep Deep Light, and the third one is Michael Harding. And then I've got some other materials that I've really loved using, together with the sketchbook that has been my favourite. So I'm going to be swatching them out for you. We're going to start with Red Clover Meadow, which is pretty much a warm palette, apart from maybe the Prussian blue, the teal blue, but it's more on the warm side. It's got a couple of cool colours in it. And go through and see what other colours we get just from these 7 colours and why I've enjoyed using them. So let's start with that one. Let's bring some water in and get my paints at the ready. So I'm going to move that one out of the way and those. Okay, here we go. And for those of you that were watching yesterday, I have now put all of my Red Clover paints, and I managed to peel off the stickers and put them on this. So they're all in this one palette now, with plenty of room to add more. So let's have a go. We're starting off with Brick Red. So let's pop Brick Red in there. And obviously I've got Brick Red and Brick Red. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a more watered down version of the Brick Red. I'm going to need a palette to mix on, aren't I? Come along, let's find a palette to mix on. Let's pull you out. Maybe you'll be okay. So we've got a palette to mix in. So I'm going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lots of Brick Red at the ready to be mixed with the other colours. I might have to do a bit of wiping out in between because I can only fit 4 on here. Have I gone in the right one? No. So we're getting some Brick Red ready to mix. So the first colour we're mixing with is Prussian Blue. And that gives us almost a Perylene Green, in actual fact. Should I come in a little bit closer? Let me see. So that you can see these a bit better. Let's try, there we go, let's see if we can. There we go, I think that's going to be better. We might need to pull out later on, but that'll do for now. If I move my water and move that up, hopefully you can see the colours a little bit better now. So that's with Perylene Green. Then with Earth Green. Might need a bit more because Earth Green is quite, it's not the strongest of colours. There we go. Okay, let's mix it with vermilion. And then with the copper red, which was the one I went into by accident earlier. Oh, that's overtaken it completely. Might need quite a bit of this too. There, let's do it on the end there. Okay, let's just grab a tissue and wipe those out. So that we can carry on with our brick red. And teal blue, where are you? You're here. There we go. And then we want our brick red, finally, with yellow earth, which is here. Okay. So there we have some really nice earthy colours. If I bring that up, you can see that's full strength brick red. That's a very watered down brick red. And then we have our mixes with the other colours. So let's move on to mixing with Prussian blue now. So we need our Prussian blue here as full strength. And then if I rinse my brush out, I don't want to be doing Prussian blue with Prussian blue, so I'm doing that as a very pale version. Now then, Prussian blue, we need to mix it with brick red. What else do we need? Green earth. So, well, actually, we've already mixed it with brick red, haven't we? Yes. So I just need to go with green earth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. Green earth. Gosh. These charts are always so tricky, I find. Right, let's start there anyway. So green earth. Ooh, quite a weak colour, so we'll add a bit more. There we go. Prussian blue with green earth. Oh, very pretty. With vermilion. And we get basically a indigo with copper red. Oh, copper red is such a strong colour. There we go, that's better. I mean, that gives us almost a black. Then with teal blue, which is here. And then I need to do a bit of cleaning up again. And our last one is Prussian blue with yellow earth. Oh, wow. I will bring these back up when they are dry as well. But I am loving those Prussian blue mixes with my other 6 colours. So the reason I haven't done Prussian blue with brick red, did I not do brick red? Yeah, it's because it's there, basically. So yeah, I'm going to be going down in like a triangular shape. Right, let's go on to green earth then. So green earth is there, and then watered down is there. And then, because I've already mixed it with brick red and Prussian blue, I just need to mix the green earth. And I will put quite a bit of the green earth in, because as I said, it's well known to not have quite as much strength as some other paints. Okay, so let's now mix our green earth with vermilion. And then with the copper red, which I'm just going to try and take a small dot of, because otherwise it kind of takes over. There, that worked out better. With teal blue. Didn't pick any up. That's better. And then the final one with yellow earth. So there we go. Those are our green earth mixes. Let's move on to vermilion, which we've already mixed with several colours, but let's put it at full strength here and watered down here, and then we need to mix that with copper red. Okay, very carefully taking a small part of copper red with teal blue, and with Yellow Earth. Okay. Now let's move on to our copper red, which is really quite a strong colour. Let's water you down. Or maybe I watered you down too much. There we go. And the only colours that we need to mix that with are teal blue, and Yellow Earth. There we go. So now let's have a go with our teal blue, full strength, watered down. And then we need to mix that with our Yellow Earth. And all that leaves us to do then is put our Yellow Earth there and our watered down Yellow Earth. So there we go. Those are the colour mixes that you can get from those 7 colours. They are still all a bit wet, so I'm going to dry those off and bring it back up. But I think you can see what a lovely colour palette that is. We've got so many browns, and we've got some lovely greens going on, bluey greens. We've got our slightly warmer reds with our vermilion. And yeah, this is a lovely, lovely palette. So that's the Red Clover palette. Let me pause and be back in a tick. So I will bring this back up, and I think you can see, I mean, I've called this a warm palette, even though there are a couple of cool colours. Our Prussian blue and our teal blue are cool, but the overall impression of the palette is quite a warm, muted palette. So there we go. That is my pick from Red Clover, and it's a warm palette. So let's move on, and I'm going to do that. And next we're going to be looking at Deep Deep Light, and this is very much a cool palette. So these are the colours that I've picked out: Rose Ashes, Dragonfly, Butterfly, River, Forest Pigeon, Night Raspberry, and Masher's Green. So this is much more of a cool palette. So let's pop these out of the way. Reach for the palette with all of my Deep Deep Light colours in, so that we can do some mixing with these. Let me pop that way, and then you might be able to see it. There, that's not too bad, I don't think. Okay, so let's start with let me turn this the right way around so that I get the right colours. Right, Rose Ashes, and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to need 6 lots of rose ashes, aren't I? So let's get this activated. We'll start with 4 and then I'll wipe it out for the other 2. So initially we need to put our rose ashes in there, and then we need our watered down version there, so that we've got our paler version. Right, dragonfly. Where is dragonfly? Aha, there you are. Okay, so our first mix is with dragonfly. There we go. Our second mix is with butterfly. Moving round, we need some river. And that's kind of neutralised and gone into a grey. Then forest green, which is here. And can you see we've got a darker grey? Let's wipe those out. And move on to the other 2. So let's get our rose ashes in there. And we need to mix that with night raspberry, which is up here. And then we need to mix it with Masher's green, which is just here. Which is quite a neutral colour. So there we go. Hopefully you can see we've got some quite neutralised colours there, apart from the night raspberry, which is quite a strong colour anyway. So let's move on to dragonfly, and let's get rid of those in my palette. So dragonfly is the most beautiful colour, and then watered down is very pretty. So dragonfly 1, 2, 3, and I'll do the first 4 initially. So we're going to mix dragonfly with butterfly. Oops, let's do that one because it's creeping. That just mutes it down a little bit. And we're going to use river. That makes it a bit greener. Forest pigeon. There we go. Which makes it bluer. We need night raspberry, which is here. It's quite a strong colour, so we need to be careful with that. Okay, let's wipe that out. And then we need our dragonfly. With Masher's green. Whoa, that's bright. There we go. So that's those, which I can bring up. You can see we've got variations of this tealy blue colour, moving more green into more blue, and then very bright with the Masher's green. I'm just going to try changing my light. I think maybe that's a bit better. Okay, let's move on to butterfly, which is a very pale, it's almost a buff titanium, but it's on the yellow side. And then I need a quite watered down one, which will hardly show on here, to be honest, but never mind. Let's add two, 3, and 4. So we're going to add it to river. No, I didn't pick up enough, did I? That's better. Butterfly and river. Butterfly and forest pigeon. These will be muted down. Night raspberry. And finally, Masher's green. There we go. So let us clear the decks for our next colour, which is river. And river on its own is a beautiful green. Watered down. I watered it down too much again, haven't I? Let's just, there we go. There we have it watered down. So River needs 3 more mixes. I've got 3 lots of River there. We need to add it to Forest Pigeon. Night Raspberry. And Masher's Green. There we go. So let's go on to Forest Pigeon. So Forest Pigeon in its strong form looks like that. And then watered down is like that. And then we've only got 2 mixes to do with that one now, because we've mixed it with all the other colours. So we need to mix it with Night Raspberry. And we need to mix it with Masher's Green. Let's move on to Night Raspberry. And watered down. Where are you? There you are. No, that's too watered down. There, that's a bit better. And then we just need to mix that with Masher's Green. Well, it's a lovely olive green. And then for our Masher's Green, we just need Full Strength and then the light version. So let's clean all of that off. There we go. Let's bring that up wet. So there you can see those are our 7 colours. Those are our pastels and our mixes, and it is a very cool palette. So those are some of my favourite deep light colours that I've been using the most. I can get a kind of a greeny brown, and then I can get lots of neutral cool grey mauvey blues and lots of nice greens. So this is a very beautiful cool palette. I will dry that off and bring it back up, and then I think I cut myself off. So although this is a cool palette, it's not a bright palette. It's still a very muted palette. So both of the first 2 palettes that I've shown you, if we look at the warmer colours, they're quite muted. If we look at the cool colours, they are quite muted. So let's move on to my final choice, which is Michael Harding, and I've just got 6 colours here: Perylene Green, Quinacridone Bronze, Titan Buff, Neutral Tint, Cobalt Blue Deep, and Vermilion. So let's have a little go. I'll find a different palette, I think. Let's use that one. Let's move my deep light out of shot and bring in my favourite, probably of all time, Michael Harding, although I do love the handmade colours as well. So let's start off with our Perylene Green, and then we will mute that down with water. So there's our watered down version. So I just need 5 lots of Perylene Green. So we've got 5 lots of Perylene Green there, and I need to mix with Quinacridone Bronze to start off with. Titan Buff. Need a bit of Neutral Tint, which will probably just darken it even further. Yeah. Cobalt Blue Deep. Didn't get any. There we go. And finally, no, that's not Scarlet Lake. Did I write Vermilion? It's actually Scarlet Lake. I put the wrong name on it. Okay, it's Scarlet Lake. We will adjust that in a moment. Oh, and I've smudged it as well. Aren't we doing well? So this is not Vermilion. This is Scarlet Lake. We will adjust it on here to say Scarlet Lake. Okay, now I kind of smudged that a bit, so there we go. That's better. Right, let's move on to our Quinacridone Bronze. There we go. And watered down is there. Just need to wipe this clean again so that we can keep using this palette. Otherwise, I have so many palettes that are all being used. So we're nearly there. There we go, one clean palette. So Quinacridone Bronze, we just need 4 lots of. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we're going to mix initially with Titan Buff. Neutral Tint. Cobalt Blue Deep. and Scarlet Lake. Actually, too much Scarlet Lake. There we go. Add a bit more there. Okay. Let's just clean this out. Ready for our next colour. There we go. So we are now moving on to Titan Buff. And there it is, muted down with water. I just need 3 lots of Titan Buff. And we're going to mix it with Neutral Tint, which gives us the most gorgeous grey. Cobalt Blue Deep. That is a stunning colour too. And of course, Scarlet Lake. Really quite a salmony colour, I guess. So let's do a little wipe out. And then we are ready for our next colour, which is Neutral Tint. It really is a useful colour, Neutral Tint. There we go, watered down. And then we need to mix Neutral Tint with Cobalt Blue Deep. And Scarlet Lake. There we go. Moving on to Cobalt Blue Deep. One of my most favourite colours. And there it is, watered down. So Cobalt Blue Deep. We just need to mix with Scarlet Lake. And it says Vermilion, but we now know this is Scarlet Lake, so I will alter that again. And Scarlet Lake watered down. Okay, let's move those out of the way. Let's bring this one up for you to see wet. So those are all the lovely colours that you can get with those 6 Michael Harding paints. But let's dry it because they always look different dry. So here we go. This is it dry. So we've got 2, 3 different greens going on there. And then we've got some neutral colours here. We've got some reds, browns, reddy browns, oranges. We've got some blues and some greys. And then some more neutral sort of yellowy colours, I suppose. But yes, I think that makes a really lovely palette. I'm not sure what I would call this palette, because I think Scarlet Lake is quite orangey, so therefore it's a warm colour. Quin Bronze is a warm colour. I think Perylene Green and the neutral tint and the cobalt blue are probably, well, cobalt blue is really, it's not really warm or cool. It's kind of goes both ways. Yeah. So this is a real mixture of some and some, I guess. So there you go. We've had 3 different colour palettes with, you know, let's pull back out a little bit actually, because I don't think I can get them all in otherwise. So let me do that. Let's find my camera. There it is. So if we pull back out, then I might be able to get a few more in. So just as a reminder, we had a warm, a cool, and a mixed palette. And yes, let's put them like that, and then maybe you can kind of see them all. So warm palette, very much a cool palette, and very much a mixed palette. So those have been my favourite colours from my 3 favourite ranges of watercolours. Also, favourites then, moving paints out of the way and moving on. I've got 3 Faber-Castell watercolour markers that have most definitely been my favourites. So this is Earth Green. This is Warm Grey number 4. And this is Cool Grey, wrong way, Cool Grey number 6. So you can see those 3, I think, have been making some wonderful backgrounds for me. And I've then been using Caran d'Ache on the top. These are the Neocolor 2s. So this is a palette that I've put together. It originally came as a set of 15, but I have curated this for myself. So I will let you know the colours that I have picked out. So this is called Salmon Rose. We have got Payne's Grey, White, which I'll do over the top of something in a moment. We've got Ultramarine. This is English Red. Ochre. This is just called Ochre. This is just called Yellow. Vermilion. Brown. Silver Grey. I think this is, yeah, Olive. I've got a black. I've got a sepia. And then I've got these ones that are kind of half broken. This one is just called Orange. This one is called Emerald Green. Now, what is this one called? I need to find the other half. So this one is Chinese Green. And the final one, good question. Not sure, but it's quite a bright green. So those are the ones that I have pulled together. And of course the white goes over the top of my Faber-Castell watercolour pens really nicely, as do most of the colours. She says dropping one on the floor. So yeah, even the lighter colours, if you look, will go over the top. So and yeah, we've got this silver grey. Yeah, so you can see that they go nicely over the top of everything. So those, I think, are my go-tos. And then the only other things that I am constantly using at the moment, I've got a couple of Blackwing pencils. Let me turn the page and put it on the back. So the Blackwing pencils I just love, and you can buy more of these erasers that fit in the end, and you can keep moving it up so that you've got enough eraser sticking out. So this one is a 602. What does it say on it? Half the pressure, twice the speed. And then I have a box of these. These are 223. And this is definitely softer. And I think you can probably just about see it's a darker one than the 602. So loving those. And then a go-to, always a go-to, is the Carbon Platinum pen. It does really fine lines, and I use it a lot when I'm doing pen and wash. But you can build it up by doing hatching and things like that. But as my starting point, quite often I don't use a pencil. I will use this Platinum Carbon or Carbon Platinum pen. And finally, for this first half of the year, I'm going to say that one of my favourite sketchbooks has been this mixed media 9x12 grey toned 150 grams Stillman and Byrne Nova series. And you can see here I've used these watercolor markers in the background, and then I've used Neo colors and maybe a little bit of bleed proof white. So that would be the only other thing that I put on my list, bleed proof white, because I can't do without it. So yeah, I'm just loving this grey toned paper at the moment, and using my watercolor markers, my Neo colors, and a little bit of bleed proof white. So there you go. Those are my favorite things that I have loved using the first half of this year. As we're coming to the end of June, I can't believe that the first 6 months have gone past already. So I will leave links to everything below. Maybe there's something there that you like the look of, but those have been my go-tos. So I hope you enjoy me sharing that with you. I will wish you all a happy morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world, as I always do. Please stay healthy, stay safe, and stay calm. Until next time, thank you so much for watching.